America is run in a democratic way. That means that we, the people, decide who the leader will be. In other words, if everybody wants one person to be the leader, he will be the leader. And he, for the next 4 years, is who we're going to rely on, be happy that we chose him or regret that we chose him. The next upcoming elections is very important in America. And generally throughout the world, it's very important to choose your leader. If you follow a certain line of thought, for example, if you believe in goodness and kindness and peace and helping those who need help, so then you want that the leader of your country should follow suit. We see how the world is changing rapidly towards the upcoming redemption. Some religions call it the apocalypse, some religions call it the end of days. Some religions think the world is coming to an end. But the Jewish religion, which everyone actually wants to know what the Jewish religion has to tell everybody else, says that this is the times of redemption. Someone wants to know what's going to happen in the times of redemption, all the prophecies, basically the best times for human beings. God will be revealed in the world, and there will be no illness, no war, no nothing. Now, the point of this whole redemption is the culmination of the coming together of physical and spiritual. Now, this took a long time. Not always did people proclaim God as openly and as proudly as they do today. And today, everyone believes in God. When I say everyone, I mean most of the humanity believes in God, which means everyone. Rubam Kekulam, we say, goes by the majority. The majority of the people today in the world believe in God. The majority of the people today know that Messiah is here. And the majority of the people want the redemption. If all men are created equally, why should one person be the leader over the other person? He also goes to sleep. He also needs to eat and drink, take care of himself. He's a human being just like I am. Why should he be in charge? Now, this code needs to be cracked, and the crack to this code is Messiah. Now, what is Messiah? Everyone believes in God. Now, it's about time. God was always waiting, so to speak, for humanity to realize that they are incapable of running their lives without Him, the supreme being, the super being, God. And once we come to this realization, we can actually appreciate this world. We're talking about the world realizing God exists. Let's take upon ourselves, let's accept upon ourselves God's kingship on the world. Let us usher in the Messianic era. Now, the problem is that a lot of people are at a loss. How do we connect the physical and spiritual? They still don't understand. But for the answer to that, we need to learn what the leader of the Jewish people today tells us, which is the leader of the generation today is Rabbi Schneerson from Lubavitch, and he tells us the secret keys to God's plan based on the Bible, based on the prophecies. The Rebbe is also a prophet, and he prophesied many things, and they came clear. And now the Rebbe tells us that we're the last generation of exile, the first generation of redemption. Let's cut to the chase. How do we bring about Mashiach? My answer is very simple, based on what I learned from the Rebbe's teachings. Kingship is something that we hadn't needed to relate to till now. Till now, God didn't care if you voted for this king or for that king. Kings ruled the people by their oppressive forces, by their soldiers, by their might of hand. So God didn't expect a simple person to start fighting with Napoleon. But God did want that person should add in goodness and kindness, not kill, not steal, and keep the commandments in the Bible. For a non-Jew, the 7 laws of Noah, and if you're Jewish, to keep the 613 laws written down in the Bible, since they were given to us on Mount Sinai. Now, to actually be king of the world in a sense that we could relate to and we can understand, as in a king like we knew, like when we know right now, let's say today we call it a president, prime minister. The point is that now we have a new mission. Now that the world accepts God as its leader, now that the world wants the redemption and wants Messiah, we are ready for the next stage. The next stage in the fulfilling of God running this world. And that next stage is very simple. We need to accept upon ourselves the King Messiah elected by God. Now, in order to accept upon ourselves the King Messiah elected by God, we need to know who he is. Just like when you vote for a president, we need to know who the president is. Another question that people might have is, what's the difference if I accept upon myself Messiah or not? Now, the answer to that is very simple. Till now, as we said earlier, kings ruled by force, by the might of their hand. Oh, the reason why it's important to accept the King Messiah is because he is not going to rule by force. He is going to rule because the people want him and the people ask for him. In other words, he is going to rule because he is wanted and because the nation is asking for him. He is not going to rule with force. And we also know that when Messiah comes, there will not be such a thing as a police force. There will only be judges and advisors. The judges will say the law according to what God wants, and the advisors will explain the person what the best way and the nicest way and the right way to fulfill those commandments, and explain to him till he understands why God says so. But it will already be in such a way that everybody loves God and everybody sees God and everybody agrees with the way God is running his world, so it won't be a big deal for the person to relate to this. There's 3 commandments that will usher in the imminent redemption. First commandment is accepting the King Messiah. Second commandment is building the 3rd temple. The 3rd commandment is eradicating the nation of Amalek. The first commandment is accepting the King Messiah, and that's what we need to do. Back to the votes. What I recommend for a vote this coming election, when there's the next election for the American people, is to vote Rabbi Schneerson of Lubavitch. I believe that it is in our power to vote for the Rebbe. I can imagine many of the people who are watching this video don't even know how to vote and never even looked it up, never even Googled how to vote for president. 50% of America doesn't even vote. Why? Because probably they lost faith in the government, in the system, or it doesn't make enough of a difference to them. Here, I'm proposing a new thing, to bring this awareness of kingship into a physical form. We want to show God that in our physical life, we would like him to reveal Messiah. So let's win this vote, this upcoming vote. Not sure when it is, I don't care so much, and that's not the point. The point is that we're going to show that God, that we want him as king, and we know that God wants Messiah to be the king of the people in a physical state. Obviously God is higher than us, but his messenger, which is Messiah, is in a physical form of a body and flesh and blood, which is much higher than us and nothing to compare with us. He's like Moses that led the Jewish people out of Egypt. Let us show God that we accept upon ourselves the King Messiah, and we would like to end the cursed exile which has been raging for 2,000 years, and with the redemption of the Jewish people will come the redemption to the whole world.